Good morning, everyone. My name is Nat'e Guyton, and I am so excited to be here. So I'm going to try to keep this very informal, and we can have an exchange and a dialogue around some of the principles I'm going to give you here. I have multiple businesses that I've started throughout the years in various states. And what I have for you today, and I'm going to kind of give it to you in about 10 minutes, is really not just about my businesses, but about the format that I used, right? And I used to not only start the business, but sustain the business, scale the business, and replicate the business, right? Because a lot of times, and you guys know as entrepreneurs, it's, sometimes it may be easy to start, but then how do you sustain in this market? What are the tried and true principles? And my grandfather always say to me, there's nothing new under the sun, right? So the principles that I'm going to share with you are the 10 principles that's in my book very quickly. And again, there's nothing that you haven't heard before, but together in kind of a subset, I have used these, and I mean daily, I have these 10 principles on an index card that I've had for about 10 years, so it's all beat up. And I look at them every day as I sit there in my businesses and say, oh my God, what am I doing? I'm not getting a number of patients. I'm not getting enough the business that I need. So what do I need to do to keep moving forward? So the name of my book is Transformational Innovation, and everyone should have a copy. If you don't, I have more. So I am giving everyone a copy here today because of your diligence and showing up. And they're for sale on my website and also Amazon and Amazon Kindle. So who am I? And I love this picture here because I'm a mother of two. I have a 15-year-old and a 9-year-old son, and I'm very active in their football lives and their academic lives. So first and foremost, I'm a mother. And I like to show this because a lot of women entrepreneurs, they're waiting for the kids to go to college or the kids to get out of the house, or, I gotta wait, till I can have my turn. And so I've learned that working and developing my businesses with my children are helping them see what it is to be an entrepreneur. So as I talk through the 10 steps, my kids are with me in business meetings, they're with me in closing of when I close on properties, and they're also a part of even my book shows when I go out and do tours. So my kids are very much a part of my business. So I'm a lifelong learner, and my husband looks at this slide and say, if you go back to school one more time. So I'm a nurse by background. I've been a nurse for almost 20 years, okay? I have a bachelor's in nursing, I have a master's in healthcare administration, I have a master's in healthcare informatics, and I also just 2 years ago graduated with my doctorate in organizational leadership and management. My career, again, I've been a bedside nurse for about 20 years, and I've been a nurse manager at Temple University Hospital. I worked at Johns Hopkins Hospital, director of nursing operations. I've been a chief nurse officer for a hospital and an IT technology company, so I do have a lot of technology background as well. I've also been a chief operating officer of a nonprofit healthcare development company. So again, I like this slide because it helps me understand my journey, but outside of all of my businesses, I've maintained my corporate brand or my corporate identity. Because of course, you as entrepreneurs know, it was a time and a place where you said, okay, now I can leave my corporate job and go into my business full time. Or there are some usually people out there in the audience who say, when is the right time to jump? And we can have that offline conversation because I've been able to manage both. I'm an advocate, and so this slide, again, this is my purpose, and this is how all of my businesses kind of connect. If you see everything that I do, I am an advocate for healthcare, I'm an advocate for the community, I'm an advocate for families. So when you look at my portfolio of businesses that I've opened and I've maintained, you'll see the purpose of advocacy is threaded through each of them. And I love this slide again because, again, this is kind of my purpose, and my purpose is threaded through my business. See, sometimes we pick a business and we kind of box ourselves in and say, we need to be this, or society tells us we need to do one thing. Or like your grandmother told you, right? You pick a job, you do one thing, you be a nurse, and that's it. You retire in 40 years. And so God said to me, that's not the way. You have a lot of gifts, but one purpose. I'm a mentor, so again, giving back, and I'm very strategic about this. I graduated from Widener with my bachelor's and master's, so I do a lot on the board there. I'm there with students. I take students from the community back to Widener, and we do college tours. I'm an advocate for, again, women in education. That's my thing. And so this is kind of what you're here for, right? You're like, what is the business now? So I told you a little bit about who I am. This is my empire. And so I have been, over the years, developing this. And do you know the show Empire? People know the show Empire that comes on Wednesday. What is it, Fox? Right? So here's my thing. Like, if Cookie and Lucius can build an empire, so can I.
That's right.
Right? So to me, right, I don't have to do one thing. Again, I have a plethora of gifts. I have one purpose. So SNG Enterprises is our mantra. And SNG is my family's name. Right? So I'm creating not only a business, but a legacy for my children. So the SNG Enterprises right here is my real estate investment company. On the far left, my left side, is my home care company, and we'll go through each of them. And then in the middle, again, talks about my literary arm with my book and my conferences. So real estate, so SNG Enterprises, this is my Delaware-based business that we've been 5 years in business. This is more of a real estate investment company where we buy and hold properties, where we flip properties, but our goal is to be an advocate for families and place families in homes where they may not be able to afford it in neighborhoods in Delaware like Claymont, but it is a nice area. We work with the government, we work with Section 8, and we have long-term families. So in 5 years, I have 10 properties that I was able to invest in. And this is, again, out of my own capital. So has the business been scalable? It has been scalable because we've used these 10 principles it's on the back of the book. So we use these 10 principles to build our own capital funding, right, and invest with our capital to buy the next property. SNG Home Care, this is my home health care business. I just opened this year out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'm from Philadelphia, and most of my family still live there, right? My grandmother, who's elderly, still live there. And my grandma said, there's no way that I'm moving to Delaware. And I said, Grandma, how am I going to take care of you? You know, and so this business is really based on not only taking care of my family, but the community that I grew up in. Right? These are the elders that have taken care of me and helped raise me. And I'm going back into the community and providing care for them in their homes. Because we know the aging population in the state of Pennsylvania is the 4th leading aging population in the United States. It's growing fast. They're living longer than us. Right? If you look on the news, who's dying? The young people. The elders are living longer. And the third piece is, you know mom don't want to leave her home. Mom is not leaving the house. So we have a social model where we really take care of not just the care of the individual, but the entire environment, right? The house, the bills, the financial planning, the will, the estate planning. Because how many times you go back to your family's home and mom is there, but it's falling down? And you're like, Mom, there's going to be a hole in the floor. So we try to deal with all of that. We try to deal with the home, because the home environment, if it's healthy, you know, it creates a level of wellness. Now, and again, here we talk about scalable and replicable. My goal is to, in 5 years, then replicate this home healthcare model in Delaware. The other business line I have, and again, this is under SNG, and this is SNG Enterprises and Literary. So my book I published last year, so a year ago this time. And again, I went through a whole series of touring for the book. You know, I worked with a publisher. I've sold 1,500 copies just through my own networking and working with a publisher on my own. I have a website out there. I have a commerce website. So with that, even just with the book, it has afforded me a platform to do conferences and just, you know, having communication and talking to people. So you can see on my far left that, you know, there's a conference I had this year called Are you stuck? Transform your life now. And actually I'm on tour with that. So I'm going to 4 cities with it this fall and talking about the book and how to transform your lives. So again, you talk about scalable and replicable. These 10 principles can be used in any setting, from your personal life to your business to your corporate work life, right? And so people find them very helpful in their lives. Because at the end of the day, we're all asking the same questions. So the 10 principles, and again, it's on the back of the book: alter your perception, eliminate the clutter, remove the constraints, shatter the rules, kick down the gates, don't be traceable, visionary versus systems thinking, build partnerships, show gratitude, and let go and let God. And so just the first one with alter your perception, you want to do something different. You want to have a legacy. You have to change your mindset. And we all know that as we started out with business. You can't do the same thing every day and expect different results. So it really starts there. People have used these interchangeably, but between the first one and the second one, eliminated the clutter, that has helped people kind of formulate their business plan. And so a question that I like to leave before I open it up to questions from you guys is, what impact will you have or will you make on the world? So when you think about your business and where is it today, and where you want it to be, think about what impact do you want to make? Because once you understand that, the money will follow, the customers will follow, right? But think about, when you leave here today, what impact do I want to make? And go out and achieve that every day. So thank you for allowing me to be here. Any questions? Yes.
For your healthcare business that you have in Philly right now, what regulatory hoops did you have to jump through?
Oh my goodness. Well, it took me about 9 months to get through regulatory hoops. So the Department of Health, I had to apply for an application there. I had to do a site visit. I had to do are you in healthcare now?
Yes, I'm working on my CNA.
Okay, I had to do a joint commission, right, survey. I had to get a special office, that was equipped for home care. So it is a litany of regulatory compliance, but actually if you just Google for your state, what are the regulatory compliance measures to open up a home health care, in the government is a whole book, right? It'll tell you each step. But I did hire a consultant. So I do want to mention that, because sometimes we open up businesses and we don't know all of the regulatory compliance or even just taxation. If I'm serving customers in different counties in Philadelphia, it's a different tax bracket than my office. So I had to hire a consultant and invest in a consultant before I decided to start that business. Yes?
The last 20 years in healthcare have seen 4 generations of family, grandparents, parents, their children, and even their children's children, living together. You made the expression, mom's not going to leave the house. We know millennials are not leaving their home as quickly. How do you address that in not just your 10 principles, but in healthcare? Because that kind of transcends regular medicine,
Yes.
the social behavior.
Right. Well, one way the government is trying to combat that is to pay family members to take care of mom who's in the home. So there are programs in many of the states, right? It's in about 43 of the states and across the United States where they can apply, the family member. Now you do have to at least be a CNA, right? But if you're a CNA, the government will pay you through Medicare, Medicaid, and then there are programs like we work with families. If the niece is living there, who's a millennial, she wants to take care of mom, we will work with her to have her, and we will train her to be able to take care of mom if they need non-nursing. So that's like the non-nursing care. If you need nursing care, you need a nurse. So that's where the home care comes in as well. But I think the government is trying to say, well, we want to help pay. What we're finding with that, though, is doctors are complaining because they're saying the family members, the niece, the millennial, they're not really prepared and they're really not trained appropriately. So I think that's a way to help. Do I think that would be the long-term solution? No. I think you will see a huge uptick in home care. I think you will start to see doctors come back to the home. Do you guys remember the day when we used to have house doctors? Yes, so doctors actually in home care, every 30 days, they have to come back to the home and do an assessment if a patient is in home care. So I think we're going to see doctors come back out into the community and have community centers where patients go and have community care.
Take one last question.
Yeah, one last.
I'm just going to make a statement, not a question. My mother lives in Philly, and when you said not leaving the home, that's the situation I'm going through right now. She's 94. But speaking of the practice, her primary care physician does have a nurse practitioner that goes out to her house on a weekly basis because she had so many hospitalizations last year. So once she hit that magic number, then they knew that there needed to be extended care at the house. While she is pretty mobile and does things on her own, but I'm seeing that trend of coming back to the house again because it is from his practice. She comes out once a week, checks on my mother, make sure this and this is going on, and she has concerns and she calls me.
Right.
So yeah, the healthcare is kind of transitioning back to how it was many years ago.
Yeah.
It's easier than putting them into a home
It
because
is.
not everybody can afford to go into the nursing
It
home.
is, and they don't want to give, and you know, so the myth, and sometimes it is a reality, they don't want to give up their home, they don't want to sign up their home that they worked hard for, and rightfully so.
That was quick. You can take one more.
Yeah. Well, yes.
The principle on traceability, I didn't quite understand that. Can you clarify?
Yeah, and when I'm talking about don't be traceable, that's more for the people who do the same thing every day, right? I often hear people, they want to start a business, they want to do something different, they want to come out of corporate America, but they do the same thing every day. You know, so you have to come out of your comfort zone, right? So when I talk about traceability, it's less about scaling your business and replicating it, and it's more about understanding your personal mentality, right? When you're stressed and you take the path of least resistance, where do you go? Do you go back to your comfort zone and doing the same thing every day, or do you go to an area where you can embrace the change? So being traceable is more about changing. You know, when we were kids, and especially how we used to do these coloring contests. So we were taught to color in the lines, and I think mentally that caused us to be a little bit more safe and risk averse. So you know, when you're an entrepreneur and you're going into business, it's all about risk. You take risk every day, moving from even out of corporate America to your own business. So sometimes being traceable is being safe. And the older we get, the more traceable we are, because we set that comfort zone. And we have to be reminded to get out of it.
Thank you. Now we'll have
Here's
time
my-
at the end as well.
Here's all my contact